I'm Heidi Hewitt, AutoCAD Technical Marketing Manager at Autodesk, and I'm here with Rick Ellis, CAD consultant, trainer, and author. Rick, in AutoCAD 2011, we introduced with AutoCAD Inferred Constraints. Can you describe for our viewers the difference between Inferred Constraints and Auto Constraints?
Sure. Auto Constraint is really useful when you have existing geometry already in your drawing and you want to select a group of objects and then apply some constraints to that geometry. Inferred Constraints is more useful when you're creating geometry, and it'll actually create constraints for you as you go. You can kind of think of it as an extension to your running object snaps, and they do work together. The Inferred Constraint button is just a button on your status bar that can be toggled on and off, and for new users sometimes this can get really confusing because if it's on and they don't know it, they're creating constraints without even knowing what constraints are in some cases.
Creating relationships they don't necessarily want.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and now they don't know what to do with those, which if they need to, they can be easily deleted. However, with that turned on, AutoCAD will recognize when you create geometry that can be constrained. For instance, when you use that perpendicular object snap, it would automatically put a perpendicular constraint there. Or if you snap to an endpoint, it would automatically create a coincident constraint at that particular point.
And you had mentioned that it may be creating these for users that don't know what they are. How can you describe how our users would know? How do they know if it's on, or how do they know that it's been creating constraints?
Sure. When constraints are created, they're going to see constraint bars that show up beside the objects. They look like kind of grayed out toolbars that are hovering there. And when they put their cursor over those, they'll get an option to either right-click on those and delete them or hide them if they want to, or they could go to the ribbon and delete all of them at the same time.
So select all the objects, delete all if they have done that, and then toggle it off if they don't want it.
Absolutely.
So good, great tips.
That's also going to be useful if you get a drawing from someone else that maybe has constraints on it that don't meet your particular needs either.
So they've got that existing geometry that's constrained. They don't want it to be constrained, either all of it or certain pieces of it,
Yes.
certain objects.
Then they can just delete those constraints either individually or select all and do the entire drawing.
Good. Well, that's a good tip. It's a good thing to know about them. Even if you're not ready to use them yet, it's good to know that they're there and how to access them or remove them.
Absolutely, because you can certainly bet that you're going to encounter drawings that have constraints in them, whether you're using them or not.
Good advice. Great. Thanks, Rick.